I don't know. I'll put it this way. I was sitting one day talking with a young lady named Linda Simmons, who has since passed, and I was watching the Vietnam War, and I told her, I said, you know, that's something I'll never be a part of. 3 months later, I was in Marine boot camp, and then 7 months later, I was in Vietnam.
Why the Marines?
I wanted to be the toughest. And they taught me a few lessons about that, too.
Is there something you ever get used to?
No. You harden yourself to it and you react to it, but no, it's never anything you get used to, because it's almost impossible to get used to it, because it's not like there's any rhyme or reason behind it or any certain order. You know, you could be sitting there talking and all of a sudden bombs start going off and people start dying around you.
Tell me about the night you won the Davis Cross. What happened there?
We were in a terrible firefight, a terrible situation, because it was a thing where it was almost every man for himself. And I remember my company commander, Frank Satterfield, said, well, we can't send anybody out there to get him. And I had sent those 3 guys out there, what they call a listening post, right? So these young guys, I know they're out there scared, and I'm the one to send them out there. And I thought I was the one that was either going to, bring it back or die trying. It was Spenceley, Buckner, and Jenkins. And Buckner and Jenkins, well, Spenceley had shrapnel in his eyes. Jenkins had a leg wound. And I told him, I said, man, I can't carry all this. I got to carry Buckner. So I had Buckner on my shoulder. And we were in knee-deep mud in the sunken rice paddies. So we really couldn't move that fast. I'll never forget it, man, walking, and all of a sudden I see the Viet Cong soldiers in front of me. And then they started shooting. And as I turned to let Buckner down, I got shot in the shoulder, and I turned around and killed both of them. Then I picked him up, and somehow we made it back in.
So 3 tours, I imagine you lost a lot of buddies.
Lost a lot of buddies, man. Saw a lot of ugly stuff. You know, I mean, there were moments where there were levity, where I could laugh about some stuff, but a lot of times there was ugly stuff.
How do you look back on your experience in Vietnam overall?
Overall, I don't think I would trade it for anything except the one thing, the dying.
Does the war still bother you a little bit in certain ways? Or?
It still does, because so many guys, man, that I got to be friends with, and they say you shouldn't have done that. But I mean, I just couldn't help it, you know. These are guys that watched my back and I watched theirs, you know. And I think, man, as they perished over there, that I wish there would have been some way, or I had the ability to be able to change that, where they could live long and productive lives like I have. I'm sure I could have changed some things in my life and did some things better. But overall, I like to think that I do everything I can to honor my brothers, man, that didn't make it home.